In today's video, we're going to be doing some container labs, some OpenTofu, some Torero, and 1Password. Yes, you heard me right. I am talking about the secrets vault. And of course, I wouldn't dare leave out every marketing team's new best friend, Model Context Protocol, or MCP. So what is the motivation behind today's video? So Itential just launched Torero 1.5, and with that launch came the ability to do secrets injection to services. So the thing I like about this is the secrets can be associated with services at creation time and dynamically injected during service execution. You know, I like my sneakers white and my automation ephemeral. It's how I like to keep things. So for secrets in Torero, so here's the release notes for the 1.5 launch. Basically, we use asymmetrical encryption. So the first thing you have to do is create an encryption key and then reference that key in your torero.conf file. So once this is set up, you can create secrets and then couple them with a service when you build or import that service. So my goal with what we're going to look at today is just keeping the whole thing ephemeral. You know, I want to source my secrets from somewhere nice and safe, like a tool agnostic vault. And I don't want my secrets to ever touch the disk in plain text, because that would be very naughty. And I want to be on Santa's nice list. And then from there, I want to inject them into Torero Vault at runtime, and then execute my services, and then tear the whole thing down when we're done. Well, you may be wondering, hey, William, how are you going to get your secrets from 1Password into Torero? I wrote a script to do that, a pretty simple script using 1Password's developer API, which is pretty awesome. I might as well look at that script and explain what's going on. Okay, so let's see. So the first part here is basically just going to select the profiles. So when I set up secrets in 1Password, you know, it could be API keys, just plain, you know, whatever type of secrets that I want to use. This is basically going to ask which secret profiles that I want to grab. So I might have different profiles, say for like lab AWS or, you know, non-prod Azure, or however I want to, you know, sort of organize my secrets. So I want to reference just those profiles that are in scope for what I'm doing. I don't want to pull everything in. And that would be a bad idea. And then I want the ability to basically look at, you know, at any given time, I've got like a ton of containers running. So of course I only want to inject those secrets into the specific container and scope for what I'm trying to do. And that's what this does. And then I also want to check, you know, just call it a little health check. And I want to make sure the container that I picked is still actually running before we try to do anything with it. And based on whenever you set up the new Torero secrets vault, you have to generate an encryption key. So this is going to create that 256-bit encryption key for securing the secrets inside the container at runtime. And then we've got to reference that encryption key. This component right here, this create Torero conf, it's either going to create a new one from scratch or update the secret section in an existing one. And then we got the magic. This is the main event. So this connects to 1Password. It's going to grab the secrets from that specific profile, and then it's going to create them inside Torero's secret store at runtime. For readability and consistency, it just basically uses the names that I've already defined in my secrets vault, and then it's just going to make them lowercase and hyphen separated, just for human readable consistency across the board. Enough about that. Let's go ahead and look at our container lab setup. So again, this is public on GitHub, the Torero dev GitHub. But if I look at the container lab file, this is Usually when you run Container Lab, you think of it as like you also have like a lot of network images running as well. I name this one Cloud Runner because that's kind of what this is operating as. Is it's going to mimic the behavior of like what a Cloud Runner would be like if you think of like GitHub Actions or any other CI/CD platform. The goal with the Cloud Runner is to be ephemeral. So you have some sort of thing that's spun up, like some version of Linux. They're really scaled down images that only run what you need. And then at runtime, so you run a pipeline of sorts, and that's going to inject your, whatever input variables you might have, or secrets, in this case, secrets. It's going to do your automation for you, and then it's going to be torn down right afterwards, keeping the whole thing ephemeral. If I come down here, this exec command is basically going to import the automation I want to run from GitHub at runtime. So let's go ahead and launch this real quick. Okay, that was nice and quick. And let's see, make sure we can ping it. And let's go ahead and log into it. So I should see the two services that I was, So two services, one to basically create a state backend, which I already have this created right here because I was actually doing some other testing actually right before I recorded this video, but I don't have this AWS VPC created. And that's a good point. Let's switch back over, and I want to look at so what I'm going to end up running here is this lab right here. And actually, I want to look at the automation component of it. All it is, it's just a very simple, hey, we're creating an AWS VPC, and we're also going to create multiple subnets. That's it. Not complicated, super simple. And they're resources that are free to deploy and tear down. Coming back here, if I do I should see I have no secrets. Oops. Spell secrets right. So I want to get those secrets. So let's go ahead and run the secrets stuff. And I want to reference the AWS profile. And I want to do container number 2. All right. So now I have these secrets right here. Again, let's just log in and make sure they're there. Sure everything worked okay. So in this container right now, I have these secrets available to run, and I'm going to use them against this AWS VPC service right here. Instead of running things the normal way, let's do this with MCP. I think that would be kind of fun. Let's just make sure everything's talking by doing a health check. Okay, we are good. And let's see what services we have available to run. Okay, so I have those two services that I imported at runtime. Let's get a few more details about the service as well. Can you describe the AWS VPC service in a little more detail? And this is going to give me all the goodies. It's going to show me what secrets that we have. And this is what I was looking for specifically to show you. So all those secrets that we basically referenced at runtime from 1Password are now exposed in this service inside the container. Now, let's go ahead and run this service. Actually, you know what? Let's do something. Let's go off the beaten path real quick. So if I go back to, there we go, the OpenTofu project that I'm going to run, I can see that there's a few defaults in here. So the VPC CIDR block is going to default to using 10.250.00. And the subnet CIDRs are as follows. Let's tell it to do something different. See what happens. Can you run service AWS VPC with VPC CIDR block equal to, let's do 10.5.0.0/20 and subnet CIDRs. And okay, so we're basically just going to use a different range. So we're going to use a 10.5.00/20, and then we're just going to do .1, .2, and .3 .0/24 for these subnets. Let's see what it does here. So it should be figuring out how to so basically what it's going to do is it's going to pass these in to basically override the defaults that I have set in the OpenTofu configuration. So I didn't format it the way that it was expecting. Let's see if it figures out how to format that for me. Hopefully. Hey, there we go. That wasn't too bad. So this VPC now exists with this CIDR range at the VPC level and each one of these subnets in different availability zones. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tell Claude Desktop to destroy it. All right, we're good. So that VPC no longer exists. So, I mean, just to kind of recap what we've done here is we use Container Lab to spin up Torero in a container. And then we referenced some OpenTofu configuration inside of GitHub. And when we went to launch that at runtime, it fetched some variables from 1Password, fed them into Torero's new secret store, attached those secrets to this VPC service that I wanted to run, deployed the VPC, deployed the subnets, and then we destroyed them. Pretty fun stuff. Until next time.